are at the inaugural Future Renting North conference here in Manchester, and I'm joined by Vice Chair of the Residential Landlords Association, Douglas Haig. And Douglas, morning. I have to say, what an amazing venue.
It is, isn't it?
Tell us where we are. Tell us where we are and what's on the agenda today.
Well, we're very excited to be in our homeland, our home city of Manchester, for our first Future Renting North conference, and even more excited personally to be under the wings of Concord. I mean, it's really quite something when you walk in here, isn't it? It's a really impressive piece of kit. It's a shame it's not flying anymore, really, but and it actually coincides with the RLA's 20th birthday. So home city, first conference in the north, and our 20th birthday altogether, and it's all about updating what landlords are doing and the challenges that we've got. But the focus really is what do we do going forwards? How does the sector change? How do we embrace this change? Some of it's going to happen whether we like it or not. But how do we make the most of that and make sure that it keeps working for landlords?
Indeed, and give us a kind of flavour of some of the speakers and some of the topics that they're going to be addressing.
Well, we've got the ever knowledgeable David Smith. He's on stage right now giving us a rundown and basically scaring landlords as to how much legislation there is in there. We've got Kate Faulkner, who's a brilliant communicator and always out there on TV and radio and things like that. Going to update us on the market and stuff that's going on there. We've got the updates on the energy efficiency changes because they've just come in. We've got updates later from RLA, who are going to be talking about tenants as consumers, and I think that's a really important conversation that we need to be having. We're really lucky to have DWP coming, so you get the information straight from the horse's mouth about some of the universal credit changes. And then of course we've got our keynote speaker later on is the Mayor of Greater Manchester, which is Andy Burnham. So he's going to be telling us about some of the changes in terms of devolution, because not only have we got devolution in Scotland and Wales and different laws there, we're going to have it in some of the major cities going forwards as well. So he's going to be updating us on that.
I think it's so important to have representatives of local government here engaging with landlords, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't do this in a silo. And ultimately, the more we can engage with them, and the more that they can see, it's all good and well us as representatives going into these meetings and saying these are what the impacts of what landlords are having of your legislative changes. It really makes a difference when they see the landlords themselves and speak to normal landlords about how it's impacting them, so they can really understand it. We've been told this by MPs and officials before that landlords taking the time to speak to them about things is really important for them to understand things.
It's interesting timing for the conference as well, apart from it being your 20th anniversary, and congratulations for that, because the North really is in the spotlight because of Section 24. A lot of southern landlords are thinking of moving up north for higher yields, and it's good to be focused on the North because it has its own market, its own issues, its own due diligence requirements, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it is interesting the attention that's had recently, and landlords are ultimately quite creative. They want to make sure that their hard-earned money is put to good use for their retirement or to pass on to their children. So they're always going to look for it when things are clamped down in certain areas. They're always going to look for opportunities to continue to make sure that it works for them elsewhere, whether that's things like Airbnb or moving to different geographic locations. So there is a greater spotlight, and obviously landlords in the north, they have the advantage. They know the markets much better. They know the cities better. They've got the better connections with the local contractors to make sure that things are working for them. So it's a great opportunity for us to explore that, to get the feedback from the local members. And I think even just this morning so far, we've had some really good feedback.
Fantastic. I think the future renting format, to me, as a landlord myself, it's kind of set a new standard in events. I think the quality of the speakers, the fact that you have local government, the Mayor of Manchester being here today, I think really gives a lot of kind of gravitas to the occasion. Yeah. It's a format that you want to continue with, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so we started our first one. You can see we're definitely near Manchester Airport. There's no faking that. The first one was in Wales in November. We were really fortunate to get the very new housing minister. She'd just been appointed to come along to that. That was her first official appointment as a housing minister. That really set the tone for where we were going. We had over 200 landlords at that event. We've got nearly 200 landlords at this event as well. And I suppose it's a nice blend for the RLA, because we don't have lots and lots of local meetings, but what we do is we invest a lot more effort and time into making sure that we put events around the country that are really special. Not just special because it's our birthday, but really special in general, to make sure that we're really getting the top of their game, speakers at the top of their game, and can give us loads of information, and the keynote speakers like Andy Burnham as well. It makes a big difference.
And just to finish, Douglas, what would you hope that landlords take away from their attendance here today, apart from going on a fantastic tour of Concord, which is an added bonus?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that myself. So a lot of our landlords that are going to come to this are already fairly well educated in terms of what they should be doing, but obviously you can always learn more. I mean, listen to David for a couple of seconds before coming over here, I've already learned something. So, but I think it's not just about what are we going to do right now and what do we have to do. The title of the conference is Future Renting. Yeah. And it's how do we evolve as a sector. We're going to have to make changes we don't necessarily like or want to do, but if we embrace some of those changes, really change the focus of how we're treating the tenants as a consumer, and the opportunities that are there in the long term, to really make renting a first choice sector and not second best.
Absolutely. Well, I have to say, I think events like this go a long way to helping landlords plan for the future in uncertain times. So well done for a fantastic venue, fantastic lineup of speakers. Thank you very much, Douglas Haig.
Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.